What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's safe from this bullshit that they got us quarantined and staying home, people missing work and shit and other things. I hope you guys are great. I'm okay. I'm just chilling. I'm just sitting back. Just wanted to make a stream where we're just gonna fucking talk and let it all out. You know what I mean? Whatever's fucking stressing you out, you know, nobody's doing this. I decided to do this because you run into a lot of situations now, especially stressful times like this. The stream link is right there. Whoever want to jump on, man, just let it out. I don't give a fuck if it's about your girl. I don't care if it has to do with anything that's fucking with you. It can be about your job. It can be about this shit. It can be about politics. I don't give a shit. Whoever wants to jump on, you're more than welcome to. Please hit the like button as soon as you get on, so that way we can get it going. You know, sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And then sometimes we look at ourselves and we say, you know what? Sometimes that other side of the fucking bed makes you see reality. There are a lot of things sometimes in our lives that we just try to surpass, like disrespect, things you do for others and others don't really appreciate what you do or actually see, you know, um relationships with friends and family and, you know, sometimes they don't really go right, you know what I mean? Just a lot of shit, a lot of shit. And sometimes you surpass it, but then you just wake up one day, or maybe a couple of times. Some people wake up bullshit on their mind and heavy on the heart every day. A motherfucker like me, I just woke up today on you could say, the right side of the bed. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta take a look at what you're doing and clear your space. And that's exactly what I've been doing, clearing my fucking space. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there don't know how to clear their space. A lot of people out there just have a lot of fucking problems that they don't know who to talk to. You know what I mean? Well, this is the stream for it. The link is there. Peace to everybody that's checking in. Please hit the like button so this can go out and hit everyone else. This is not a comic book stream. This is not a boxing stream. Not a collective. This is just a live stream. This is something where we're just gonna kick it and talk and just basically talk about what's stressing us out. You know what I mean? Every day ever since this bullshit lockdown, everybody's missing work. Everybody's missing opportunities. People want to go out. People want to do this. People want to do that. The only thing I can tell you guys is get over it. Get over it and just do it. If you're quarantined and you got to stay home, just fucking do it. There's nothing wrong with staying fucking home. But now, if you got problems at home and you can't stay home, then that's a different story. If anybody out there is facing that, then come talk to me. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people typing on platforms, social media platforms, that is, and they're always typing bullshit. They're always typing something where something's bothering them, or instead of talking to someone. And this is the problem. I see a lot of people on Facebook, especially, Twitter. They put their problems in their relationships, whether it's their boyfriend or girlfriend or brother or sister or whatever problems they're having in whatever relationships. They have a fucking tendency of typing shit down. Now, a person like me who's having a good day, and I understand people have bad days, but this is not for that. Like, this is something that people have to understand. When you got problems with social media, you just don't fucking you don't pat your shit down on there. You know, you can take it, you can look at it as, okay, some people look at it as ammo and they might use it against you or whatever, whatever. I say fuck all that. It's just your personal problems are your personal problems, no matter who you're going through it with. You know what I mean? If you have an argument with your sister, or argument with your brother, or argument with your father, or argument with your girlfriend, argument with your wife, your fiance, whoever the fuck, talk it out. Talk it out. Now, of course, there's a lot of stupid motherfuckers in this world that don't know how to carry relationships. There's a lot of narcissistic behavior going on. There's a lot of, you got a lot of asshole activities going on. We know this. But at the same time, you got to look at it as this. If these assholes, along with their activities, didn't try to put it in front of you, then you wouldn't know what it was the next time another asshole comes and puts a fucking an asshole activity in front of you. Me personally, I have no time for those asshole activities. You know, people lie, people gonna steal, people gonna cheat, people gonna do everything in any relationship, bro. Like I said, guys, in any relationship. You know what I mean? If look, it's like if you decide to move in with somebody, it's like the odd couple. That's a big step. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a girl or a guy that you're in a relationship with, whether it's your father, let's just say he wants to move in with you or something, or whatever it is, just moving in with somebody. It's like the odd couple. It's always like that. You've always got the sloppy motherfucker and you've always got the neat motherfucker. I happen to be the neat motherfucker. You know what I mean? In other relationships in my past, whether it was a roommate that I fucking let come in and rented them a room, or they always were the fucking the what is it the Oscar, you know, of it and shit. And I was always the Felix, and I was always getting them motherfuckers. Yo, wash your dishes. Yo, you know, keep your room clean. Yo, fucking do your laundry. You know, you're a grown ass nigga. I shouldn't have to tell you this. You know, this is my house too as well. And I understand. But now once the stench starts leaving out your fucking room door, you past the boundary where now you gave me permissions to tell you, yo, I can smell the shit in your room. Clean your fucking room. You know what I'm saying? At least. A lot of motherfuckers won't abide by that. So this is why a lot of people, and I don't blame people out there for taking the selfish route, which is fuck everybody. This is my crib. If you have a hard time not finding a crib, that's your fucking problem. And I understand all of that. I am for that 100%, especially if they're not fucking abiding by your rules. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing you can do is have somebody, or as a roommate, or if you're living with, you're living together, the worst thing you can do is have disagreements and then not be able to patch it up. And that's with any relationship. You know what I mean? What's up, Craig? What's going on, my brother? Good to see you, man. No doubt, man. I hope everything is good with you, man. God bless you, my bro. You know, you know, in any relationship, there's always the fucking Felix Unger and the Oscar, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's always the neat one, and there's always there's always a bridge that both can cross. And once again, I repeat, this is with any relationship. There's always a bridge that both can cross. Both of you have to be able to meet each other on that bridge and be able to choose which direction you're gonna go. But the whole point is to meet each other in that bridge and walk successfully together off that bridge to continue the path to where you're going. A lot of motherfuckers are built off of, you know, yeah, yeah, man, we'll talk to it later. Or can I talk to you? No, not right now. Or can I talk to you? Yeah. And then they want to take over the conversation. You got a lot of people out there that complain and complain and complain. Instead of complaining, instead of putting stuff on social media, instead of telling people that you don't trust, that you go to the person that the problem is with and sit down and talk to the person that you have the problem with, that you have the disagreement with. You didn't have the problem with the person. That person that you're telling that is not supposed to be hearing anything that you're pouring out of your heart and soul. It's the person that you had the problem with that's supposed to, especially if you guys are shacking up together in any relationship. In any relationship you have, once again, your girl, your brother, a regular friend that became a roommate, anything, and I don't understand how people can find it hard to communicate. People can find it very hard not to do the right thing, but it's so easy without any effort to just. There's a lot of people out there that have faced a lot of situations where they've gotten into a relationship, and at the end of the relationship, you come to find out the guy or the girl winds up telling you, well, fuck it, I don't care. There's a lot of people walking around these days. This is why relationships no longer exist. And I'm talking about between a man and a woman now. There's a lot, can someone please explain the logic where in a relationship you're supposed to find your own happiness? Explain that. So people get married because they made themselves happy in their fucking relationship. Is that the most asinine, irresponsible thing you've ever heard in your life? I would believe so. See, because two people in a relationship are supposed to make each other happy. I've never heard of no shit where two people are in a relationship and you're supposed to make yourself happy. So let me guess. I'm supposed to make myself happy. I'm supposed to have sexual advances with you, but I'm gonna jerk off instead to make myself happy. Or in the girl's case, I'm gonna play with my clit in order to make myself happy. That makes no fucking sense. You're with somebody that doesn't make you smile, so you've got to find it within yourself to make yourself happy. Does this sound right to anyone? No, it doesn't. Because two people, this is why you get married. This is why you have children. This is why you live in happiness. Two people make each other happy. You don't get in a relationship and try to look for happiness within yourself in a relationship. That makes no sense. This is why a lot of people don't understand. If you get with someone and you guys are working together in a relationship, you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to look for happiness within each other. You're supposed to make each other smile. You're supposed to sit down and communicate. How the fuck do you have a problem with a person, and in order to make the situation happy, you talk to yourself now? And that person is, it makes no sense. This is what everybody, and mostly everybody, and people that I know that are having fucking relationships, that are in marriages as well, this is what they go, this is what they go by. This is why they're not happy. If you're by yourself, you make yourself happy because you're by yourself. There's no one else to turn to. When you're in a relationship, you're sharing everything. You're supposed to make each other happy. You're supposed to say to each other, listen, what's up, Khalil? What's going on? No doubt, man, my man. You're supposed to make each other happy. You're supposed to sit down and say, listen, this is what I like about you. This is what I don't like about you. You know what I mean? Uh, especially in females, whether it's your sister, whether it's my sister, it doesn't matter. We have lots of sisters, we have lots of cousins, we have even our exes have always been and try to bring us that shit. Well, you're supposed to find happiness within yourself. How are you supposed to find happiness within yourself in a relationship? you, and that's what the problem is too. The only reason why people get into relationships, as to, let's just say, friendships. So let's start off with friendships. Nowadays people get into friendships because of benefits, and I'm not talking sex. I'm talking, you know everybody has had that friend that didn't have money, and you're always looking out for this motherfucker. And then this motherfucker takes advantage, and then you wind up cutting them off. Right? Right? In that sense. Now, in a relationship sense with a woman or a man, you know, it gets to a point now where you're supposed to be building something, but it's all about sex now. It's all about sex. It's all about, you know what? It was and these are the words to the breakups nowadays. It was fun while it lasted. I don't see this going anywhere, because at the first place it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't supposed to go anywhere, because this was just a sexual encounter, or plural sexual encounters. Henceforth, you got this shit going around now where you're in a relationship and you're supposed to make yourself happy. So now everybody's got the selfish notion put in them. Everybody's got the selfish soul now, where they're like, well, it didn't work out because they couldn't find happiness. They weren't happy within themselves, but they didn't give that a chance. Had they tried to look for happiness within the other person that they were trying to build something towards. But most of these relationships today do not build towards nothing but sex. I'm not going to deny there's homosexuality. There's a lot of shit going out there. Yes, 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 yes. But in the normal world, between a guy and a girl, it's always going towards just sex. That's all it is. It's just sexual encounters. And it's good while it lasted. You get tired. Okay, nice to see you. One can't let go. It's always that. It's always that. But now, when you're in a relationship and you've been together for 5, 6, 7 years, there's supposed to be marriage somewhere around there. There's supposed to be a child somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. If you're paying bills together, if, right? So working towards something now in a relationship with a woman or a man goes nowhere these days. And this is fact. Anybody, the stream is on the link. If you guys want to talk, if you guys want to get on, bring up any other subject you guys want to vent on, then just let me know. I'm venting on everything today, especially the human nature of people. There's nothing more than a person who doesn't, not even, because a lot of us don't even look for appreciation. We don't. Me and you, we're probably the types that would just be like, okay, I did something for somebody, no sweat. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. But and now when the person that you've helped out turns around and tries to flip on you and turn everything into, you really did nothing for me. What you did was bullshit. But then at the time, it was the biggest thing you've ever done for them. You see, it's shit like that. It's shit like that that can taint the person. It's shit like that that can turn a person like myself and yourself that are always doing good for people. It's always that one person that can always turn you, especially if you have a lot invested in people. There's always that one person that can do that. They have that power, believe it. They have that power. You know what I'm saying? No doubt, Vape no doubt, man, no doubt. Thank you for joining. You know, so now when you get into stuff with people, you got to understand now there's an agenda. Nowadays, there's an agenda. Nowadays, and if there are any women here, or if you run into this once it turns into a video, I'm not speaking directly to you, but there are graphics of women. So what's up, Tommy Temper? No doubt, big up, my brother. You know what I'm saying? They're a demographic of women, so therefore I must speak on it, just like the demographic of men who fuck up, right? So we must speak on them too. So I'm gonna speak on women when I say that women these days are interested in nothing but money. They no longer look at chivalry. They no longer say thank you. They no longer walk around and look at you like, you know what? I'm proud of being with this motherfucker. But it's always us guys that are always pampering the woman, always looking out for a woman, always going the extra mile. Yeah, to this day, men do this shit. We can date women and we can have the intentions of just fucking them one day, and all of a sudden we see something nice about them, and we go and we try to treat them the way, you know what I'm saying. We go out our way to treat them well, and other guys would not even treat them the way they because the guys before them already knew who the fuck they were. We didn't. So here's the mask. So people wear masks. Then when you see their true face, motherfuckers wind up getting hurt, or motherfucker wind up killing himself, or motherfucker, we know what it is, getting locked up or some shit, right? So this is what I mean. It really doesn't matter. These days, relationships, they don't matter. And I'm sorry if anyone is in one now. If you're in one now, good for you, man. Work it out. Work it out. Always work it out. But if you're in one now and it's fading, if you're in a relationship or you're trying to get into one now and you see that the girl's not giving you the same type of energy, the same type, leave, dog. Just bounce. Just bounce. Even if you guys live together, if you gotta get your name off the lease, get the fuck out. Because let me tell you something. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than what you build up and that other person you tries to knock shit down because they're shooting blanks in an argument, but you're coming heavy because what you've done is true. It's always like that, and especially with women who are, try to be in the like you're in a relationship. There are certain now you're. It's supposed to switch up. This is what I hate about women who have this mind of, oh, I'm independent in it, but in reality you're not. Like you say you're independent, but yet you can't lift heavy shit. You can't put things together. You can't go anywhere without being harassed or someone fucking with you and then trying to get a man, your man, to fight your battles. Like there are you look, women, you're still limited. Fozzy, what's going on, brother? You know what I'm saying? Women have to understand you're limited. All you feminists out there, the reason why you have no men and you do need a penis is because you don't understand that men rule. Men is what makes the world fucking go round. And women are our backbone. It's always been this way. You women have your own power. You women have your own decisions to make, and we let you do that. It's not even the point that we let you. You can do that. But here's the problem. You guys want to make decisions, wrong decisions at wrong times. And then sometimes you guys want to force it into us. You guys can't do that. You guys are not allowed to do that. You know why? Because the guys that you are with would not do that to you. If there are any women here on this live, or when you run into it, understand, take a look at your man. If this motherfucker is holding up his part and he treats you like gold, regardless, he's called you a bitch many times, regardless, you guys have argued, because you got to understand, there's a reason why he called you a bitch. Think about what the fuck you called him or how you try to put him down. See, this is the landscape of relationships. You say something, the shit sticks. They say something to us, we're like, okay, we remember, but we don't let it stick. Now, when they start, you start, oh, you call me, but no, 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 hold up, hold up. You got called this because this happened. Remember, you said that. Now, I know two wrongs don't make a right because this is exactly what we do. We always are going to go back and forth, right, right, right. But now the antagonizing of a woman is exactly what gets motherfuckers locked up. Exactly what makes motherfuckers go and fuck your sisters and your cousins and shit like that. You've got to understand that. A lot of you women just do it off the strength where you're just like, okay, well, revenge porn, fuck that shit. No, we'll do it because you continue to do shit. You continue to fucking call us out. You continue to put us down. You continue to accuse us. You notice on how a woman can ask a man, "You cheating on me?" and we won't get mad. Nah, not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked me that because that shows me you care. I shit. My wife asked me, "Yeah, you've been distant lately. Is there somebody else?" That shit makes me feel good because she still cares. She's like, "Okay, this is my man. My dick is my dick." That feels good. It feels good. A lot of women these days don't do that. They don't check. They don't check up with their man. That's a checkup. But if we do it, babe, you've been distant. You're an asshole. How you gonna think I'm playing you? Now, 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 now. You see, it's not okay for me to assume. But yeah, you're leaving me with assumptions to make because now you won't answer my question. You see the game, guys? You see the game? You see the game? Khalil says, I feel sorry for the younger generation. No real, yep, male archetypes. Yep, exactly. Yep, to look up to. Right. Yep, just beta models. Exactly. And then you've got a lot of females who are in relationships with men and I'm independent. I'm at the wrong time. At the wrong time. You're gonna lose your man if you continue with this independent shit. It's okay to buy yourself shit. It's okay to pay your own fucking bills. But you're in a relationship. A man really don't need to hear or go through the attitudes in a relationship as to you being independent. When you're in a relationship, there's no need for you to be independent when you're with a man. That is some narcissistic bullshit. And a lot of women are full with this. There is no woman safe out there when I'm speaking right now because a lot of you is like kicking us men down. I know brothers who've lost jobs, kid, and women put them the fuck down, son. There's dudes that have killed themselves because their women have put them down. And that's because men invest more in relationships than women. And that is a fucking fact. I dare any woman argue with me, any man get on here and argue with me. I dare anybody. It is the fucking truth. Women are more selfish than fucking men. I've seen it. I've seen babies cry and mothers just let the fucking babies cry, then get up and be upset because they lost their sleep because the baby's crying. I've seen women not want a man go to certain places that he's supposed to go in order to make opportunities because they feel like they have to stay home with them and keep them company, but and then they want to turn around and put the man down. You see these exactly, Fozzy, double standards. You see these things, and this is happening today. Now, relationship with friends and shit like that. Listen, yes, friends come and go, but then there are friends that are friends for life. It's very hard and it hurts when friends that you knew practically all your life betray you. That is the hardest thing. That is the hardest shit. That's like an Ethiopian trying to swallow rice and it gets stuck in his neck, son, and he's like, "Ooh," and it won't go down. That is the most heartfelt emotion when you gotta fuck off a friend and you tell him, listen, you motherfucker, I knew you. How could you do this to me? Especially when you got beat the shit out of him, right? Right? I'm sure a lot of us fellas went through that. Fuck them and fuck it. It's the way it goes, man. It's not the point of being selfish. It's the point of blackening your heart when you have to. There's even situations in life for some motherfuckers that their children don't even respect them. You know what I say? If you've knocked on their door and went chasing for them and these motherfuckers didn't bother to fucking come and give you the respect to sit down and try to hash things out, then you know what? It comes to a point where you got to say to yourself, fuck your kids too. But Jay, how can you say that? Well, think about it. If Papa or Mama ain't right, how can anybody else be right? So sometimes when your kids don't even give you that respect, you got to tell them, you know what, fuck you. Let's just say a father is a long distance father, and the mother has kept the kid away from the father, right? And then all of a sudden they go grow a relationship. Then all of a sudden the kid thinks that they could fucking manipulate the father. You know, it can be with the mother too. It doesn't matter. Trying to make the parent feel bad, and you know what I mean? And going off of what either the mother or the father had put into their system, brainwashing them. And then guess what happens? The kid's disrespectful. They start talking shit to the parents. And you know what you got to say? I'm not going to stand for this little fucking disrespect of yours. Right now, your upbringing is all fucked up. You look at the mother or the father and you tell them, you have failed this child. And this is your child. If I was involved and had you kept me involved, this child would not have evolved into a fucking brat and a piece of shit that is going to be, regardless it's my blood. Facts are facts. The truth is the truth. This is your responsibility now. You see? But the power that gives a woman child support, these courts, they give women the ultimate power. So now the women walk around like they can do, say anything. Then they sometimes women use children too for ransom. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. This is why the main word here is relationships. If you get into one, make sure that you both understand that you both have to make each other happy. That's when you know, okay, we can build something and head toward. We have a goal now. It's just not a. It's just not escapades. It's just not a fucking booty call. It's just not just sexual encounters one after another until we get tired of each other. Sit down with that man. You sit down with that woman, and you be like, listen, we're gonna get into something. Where we headed to this? Where we heading to? We getting married? We were towards marriage. We don't put a dated stamp on it, but we work towards it. It could be 2 years. Y'all can get married. It could be 3, 4 years. The whole point is to work out a goal, stay in a relationship, make each other happy. There is no such thing as a person being in a relationship and making themselves happy. If that was the case, then masturbation would be a relationship. You talking to yourself, fighting with yourself, the same way you would do with another person, you would just do it with yourself then. There, as a matter of fact, the word relationship wouldn't even be existing, right? Then another thing that women fail is they expect us to read their minds. This is why I say you must communicate. You have a problem. Don't try to take lead of the conversation. Women love to do that shit. There are some men that do it, but not as often as women. You tell them about the situation, you try to sit down, talk about the argument, and right away they shut you down and they want to talk about what you did and how it wasn't right and how it should be, but don't want to hear exactly how you think, you know what I'm saying, how she wasn't right and how it should be. It's got to be, and then I'm not even going to throw that 50-50 shit. It's got to be a joint effort, bro. It's not the easiest thing to do, but when you get there and you're with that person, bro, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. I've been married twice. It's a wonderful thing. The first one didn't work out. The second one, you know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing. But now when people just start closing you out, your human nature is to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, there are so many cases out here that people just couldn't handle certain situations in relationships, so they go and they kill themselves. You see it all the time. You type in relationship suicides, you will see videotapes of motherfuckers in the elevator knocking on the girl's door. The girl's like all nonchalantly, she just broke up with the dude, probably was with him like fucking 6, 7 years. Broke up with the dude. He's trying to patch things out. And I understand, okay, you don't want nothing to do with it, right? Fine, but just don't do it like that. Where she's all dressed up, ready to go meet the guy downstairs. So what did the guy do? He let her go in the elevator. He killed himself in front of her door. Now I wasn't saying it's not right or anything like that, but the savagery in women can drive a man to do that. The savagery in women can drive a man to go to jail. You know what I mean, guys? Shit is real out here. Shit is really, really real out here. And it could be the one that you lay down with, bro, that one day she might turn around and say to you, not even say to you, say to herself, you know what? I don't like this motherfucker. And then all of a sudden you're locked up because she antagonized you over something. See, this is what women are like cats, bro. Women are like fucking cats. Relationships are like cats, bro. You trust them, you pet them, you feed them, they purring, they're all comfortable with you, everything's all nice. 2, 3 hours later, you walk down, what happens? This motherfucker wanna come sneak up behind you, scratch you near your jugular, latch onto your leg, scratch your ankles up, sneak attack you, like really hurting you. And you're like, what the fuck, bro? I'm good to you. What are you doing? It's not being frisky. It's not, it's just being called dominance. That's what cats do. They try to dominate you like that. And women are just like that. They try to dominate every situation that you have. Even if they started the fuck, even if it's their fault, bro, they try to take the conversation away from you, and then they try to take control, and then they put your faults into the forefront, and they try to gun squad you with their bullshit. But go ahead and try to ask them, I'm gonna let you know what you did first. Don't interrupt me. It, you'll survive. She went last. She went last. I don't give a shit if your girl's quiet, if she crosses her legs and she's intelligent. You try to do that and meet on an even platform with her. I will put money on that shit. It's the only time I would bet money on anything. I put everything on that shit. This motherfucker would not stay shut. She will cut you off. You know why? Because they don't like to be wrong, bro. They don't like to be wrong. They like to be in control. And the worst thing is their friends. Oh, God forbid. God forbid. This is what I'm telling you guys. If a female's not giving you energy, if you see yourself in a relationship and you're like, this shit ain't going nowhere, get the fuck out. Just bounce. Just leave. Just leave. Because what's gonna happen here is shit is probably gonna drag on. And by the time you got to the point that you're ready to leave, you're gonna have too much invested. If you got a car together, you gotta worry about still in communication. But what basically what I'm saying is don't let shit go too deep and deeper and deeper, knowing that you're trying and she's not. You know what I mean? It's just like if you're knocking at her door and she's not opening the door, the fuck you gonna do? Continue to knock? No, get the fuck out of there then. Fuck you. And when she comes look for you, you give her the same treatment. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. If you've been cheated on, let that bitch go. And never go backwards in your life, bro. You guys never go back with your exes. Never go back with your fucking ex-girl, bro. You leave that bitch in the dust. There's only two things that can possibly happen. Revenge, bitches will take bitches. Listen, there have been cases out there that women have been with men that have hurt them in high school, and later on in life they look and and they gonna reach out this motherfucker, and this motherfucker's like, oh shit, this is my ex. Damn, she look good. Damn, but I remember what I did to her. And you can go and you can tell her, yo, I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry I did that, and she'll fucking take you. Yeah, she'll take you. She'll definitely take you on. What's up, Red Glove Militant? What's going on, brother?
How's it going?
Chilling, brother. We're just talking life, man. We're letting it all out. Motherfuckers is quarantine. I know a lot of the motherfuckers got a lot of shit off their chest. So I'm just speaking on relationships, speaking on everything, owing money, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers owing you money, everything we're going in life. We're just talking. Right now, I'm getting into like being in a relationship with a woman, on how selfish they are, on how they've driven a lot of men into suicide, on how, you know what I mean? I mean, we can speak on the men as well, but the only thing we're really guilty of is just fucking them, leaving them with children, and what, not paying child support. That's about it. That's about it. We ain't never drive no woman to kill herself. We ain't never drive no woman to kill her babies. We ain't never do nothing like that. It's just the nature of a woman. The nature of a woman is like a cat. You can't trust a cat. Why? Because cats flip on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? For no apparent reason. I just gave that little analogy where you could be rubbing the cat and being all nice to it, and they're purring and rubbing up on you, and all of a sudden it's like you get up, they didn't like that shit. What do? They sneak up on you and they start scratching your legs, scratching your neck and shit. You know the nature of a cat. This is the same thing with a woman. Now, I'm not saying all women are like this, but there's a certain thing. Now, I want to ask you a question. I want to see if you agree with me on this. In a relationship between a man and a woman, is a man or a woman, if they're in a relationship, supposed to look for happiness within themselves in a relationship and not their partner?
Wait, what do you mean? I'm not quite understanding the question.
Okay, so let's just say you're talking with your girl, right? And all of a sudden it's like, she tells you, well, in a relationship, you're supposed to make yourself happy. You're supposed to find happiness within yourself in a relationship. Like, do you agree with that?
That you should, do I agree that you should find happiness within yourself?
Yeah, while you're in a relationship with a woman. This is what Will Smith this is what Jada Pinkett told Will Smith, and Will Smith looked at her like she was fucking dumb because she went and told him, you know, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't look for happiness within your partner. You have to have happiness within yourself. And he looked at her and said, "How the hell did we get married if I didn't make you happy?" You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that a woman, because this is what most women's standards are today. You're in a relationship, you can't make me happy. I have to be happy. That how the fuck? Like, because look, I know you're in a
Oh yeah, I
relationship.
don't agree with that.
Exactly. Like I know
I,
you're in a relationship. You have to make your girl happy because if she wasn't happy with you, goodbye, senor. Right?
yeah, exactly.
So break it
Or if
down.
she don't make me happy, because it's a
Exactly.
two-way street.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why relationships nowadays, it's just all about sexcapades. Let's meet up. Let's fuck. Let's see how long that lasts. It's not. Let's see where this goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nowadays is in our day, it's like that's why we're still with ours, where we're like, okay, we're together. Where we going with this? And you start working towards something. You start building up towards something. You have arguments, you patch it up, meet each other. You have disagreements, you talk it out to let each other know what the fuck was wrong, what the fuck was. But and then now, there's a lot of women out there that you know you go and you patch shit up with them, and they take over the whole conversation, cutting you off and just letting you know what the fuck you did.
I can't stand that. And my girl does that a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. I
Brother,
had to constantly tell her, "Wait a minute, was I not speaking? Was I
you know
not in
what
the
I mean?
middle of saying something?"
Right, right. And it becomes to a point where sometimes, because I know I do it, I'm just like, okay, we're going there, and I walk out because that's sort of like antagonizing the person. You're trying to tell them what they've done wrong, and you started it off. Let's just say you initiate and you started off, and all of a sudden they want to cut you off. Oh, but you did this, and they're like, wait a minute, I'm getting there. Let me finish. And blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah, you know what I end up telling my, like I try to be as patient as I can be, and there's been a couple times where I've literally had to try like 8 times before I could finally finish my sentence because she interrupts me every single time, and I'm just like, it's like I eventually tell her, you know what, just be clueless. Just remember that when I'm pissed off at you and you don't know why, this is why, because while I'm telling you things, you don't listen. You want to cut me off.
Precisely, bro. Precisely. And don't you hate? I don't know how far you've gone, into arguments with your girl, stuff like that. But there's similar, there are situations in life where people have that bond in their relationship where they're like, "Oh, fuck you, you bastard! Oh, fuck you, bitch!" Our grandparents, for instance, we've seen them curse the shit out of each other. tu maricon, oh, fuck you, but they love each other to death, though, right? They had children. They're like in their 50th, 53rd, 57th year of marriage. That shit's been going on for days, right? For years, centuries. Like, so you gotta, you can't find that. So my question here, especially to myself, because I'm answering myself and to everybody in the chat, is you find yourself frustrated. So what happens? Oh, you're a dick. Oh, you're acting like a bitch. And then you go, right, and then you go to hash it out, right? You go to hash it out. No, fuck you. You called me a bitch first. Excuse me. Women always do that shit. You called me a dick first, bro. My shit, I was retorting. Okay, but I'm a dick. I'm a dick. But the only thing that stuck out is me calling you a bitch. Okay. All right. Okay. See, that shit right there, that nature of a woman. I don't know if you go through that, but it's there, bro.
Yeah, it's funny they use the cat because my mom told me a story about my mom. She never allowed us to have cats. My mom hates cats, and she told me a story about I don't know if it was a friend of hers or a family member of ours that I don't know because I got a lot of family I never met because they live on the island, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But um, she told me that like they had a cat and they always fed the cat before they fed themselves. One day they had guests, they fed their guests, then they went and they fed the cat, and later that night the cat attacked them.
Fucking, I'm telling you, spiteful motherfuckers, man. Motherfuckers,
Yeah.
bro, I'm telling you, and women are like that, bro. Yo, how many stories you've heard? And I'm on the show. We haven't gone through, but we've heard these stories, and gentlemen in the chat as well, even ladies, if you're here, or when you run into this when it turns into a video. How many times have you heard stories of women being real petty and fucking around and trying to get back at a motherfucker out of spitefulness, bro? And it got to a point that it either drove the dude to suicide or drove him to do something crazy to her or crazy to whoever the fuck it was she was fucking with, or like for instance, there are a lot of cases out there where bitches go and fuck your brother. That should
Oh
have drive
yeah, I know.
you know what I mean? That
I
should
know
have drive.
somebody.
Yeah.
I know somebody that happened to.
Mm. I'll drive a motherfucker crazy. I'll even drive him to jail because he went and fucking outed her and him and his old brother. It's like that. It's like, it's like, I'm sorry to say, but it's like that. Shit like that happens. This is what spins the world's current events. Shit like this, uh, you got motherfuckers that'll go and kill themselves afterwards after they get rid of them. Like, sometimes some dudes are just so beta that they're just like, oh my God, boom, and they shoot themselves or jump off a bridge or some shit. So it's the question here is, in these days, if you're not in a relationship, how are you supposed to measure shit out? So with your experience, what can you share as to getting the same thing? Exactly, Craig, all of them. You know what I mean? All of them, Craig. Exactly, bro. Yo, yeah, I respect Craig, man. This is why Craig plays the fucking game, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of my friends have played the game, and I don't blame them. I'm not talking about hurting a girl. No. I'm talking about just hitting and skipping, not hitting and running, hitting and skipping. There's a difference. When you're hitting and skipping, you already know what it's about, so you move on. If you're both honest with each other, I can understand that. But now, when you both promise each other a relationship, but you're just hitting and running on
That's
each other.
different.
Exactly. And motherfuckers both scar each other too when they lie to each other saying that they hitting and skipping, but they really hitting and running because they're both gonna get hurt because it's always the sex that drives a motherfucker in. This is what they use today to drive motherfuckers in on your television, on your radio. You can hear a girl moaning. Shit, they even use phone sex for motherfuckers to jack off and girls to play with themselves. Sex sells, right? So what I'm saying here is sex is the key to everything. But in a relationship, you can't make it the key to that because then it just becomes a sexcapade. You get where I'm getting at?
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're getting at.
you know? So my question here is, how do you, for these guys out here, if you're going to get into a relationship, what is the method you would use as Red to to actually gain that space with that woman, and to
I
make sure
think
that that woman can gain that space with you?
I mean, I think it's really, I think there ain't no other way other than the old fashioned way. You know, you got to spend time together. You got to get to know each other. You got to get to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And she got to do the same with you. Now you may need to do it a little bit differently nowadays because, uh, let's be real. There's some real grimy women that know that all they have to do is say that you raped them,
Hmm.
and they know that they have fucked your life over, you know, and they don't have to have any proof or anything. Automatically people want to believe them, and that's a problem that we have in society. Now don't get me wrong, women do get raped. I know that it happens, and you know it's not an easy subject to talk about, but we have to keep in perspective, you know, that innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's something that we must never. And I know that's not really where you're trying to take the conversation,
No,
but
actually, no, no. No, this is exactly because this is another side of it. No, no, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
yeah, because I mean, there I think you, even if you're in a relationship, I think you really should get to know a girl before you ever lay in bed with her. You know, just for that very reason. Because if she shows you any signs that she's kind of crazy, you may want to, you know, never lay it on her and just move on to the next one, because that is something that will fuck your life over. That's a
Yep.
problem that men face that women don't.
Yep. Yep. And let me tell you something. It's easier for a woman to get a nigga than it is for a dude to get a woman because you've got those good women out there. There are some good women that are like our moms and you know what I'm saying and shit like that, where a man has to have his shit together, right? Sometimes those women too, like Craig says, all of them, sometimes them women too can have a man who got his shit together and all of a sudden his shit because hard times or something like that, right? I mean, if he did it to himself and he decided to be lazy, he deserves it. But let's just say hard times hit and it's not his fault and he's trying and every day, then all of a sudden they shit on him. They shit on him. They shit on him. That is the most coldest shit to do after this man has supported you, held you up. You find a lot of cases like that. And even with our parents, even in our parents' time, there were women like this with a social structure. So that turns women into some shit where it's like, okay, you got to be with me. You got to get your shit together. How many fellas out here heard that shit? In order to be with me, your shit got to get together. But then you turn around, right? And you look at this bitch, and this bitch doesn't have not even a fucking job, son. But you're supposed to have your shit together for her. You see, and stupid motherfuckers actually say, "Oh, no doubt," because why? Because she's got big titties, she's pretty, she got a fat ass, right? So what motherfuckers do? That shit hypnotizes them, and they go out of their way, and they make themselves even more better than they would have made themselves when they were by themselves for themselves. So then motherfuckers go and they make that bitch their backbone, right? So now when the bitch is tied with him and he loses something, what happened? This nigga becomes a spineless yellow coward, a beta, because the bitch done took herself out of his life, so he has no backbone anymore. You know what I'm saying? Mala says there are not a lot of genuinely loyal people in this world. Exactly, my brother. Exactly, and it's to a point where this is exactly why I'm making this here so that way we can all sit down because we all talk boxing, we all get to, but at the same time, it's always good to talk about shit in life, especially us being quarantined around the world right now. Right now is the time to take advantage to talk to each other and to hold each other up like this. And I'm more than sure a lot of motherfuckers rolled out of bed today, had a fight with their wife, had a fight with their girl, had a fight with their father, had a fight with their cousins, had a fight, arguments all around the board, their boss or whatever. This is a stream to let it out. This is a stream. If you got a question as to why you don't understand exactly why bitches wear more open shirts than closed shirts, we here for you, bro. We're here for you. And the answer to that would be because they want opportunity, because they know that cleavage, because they know that sex sells. Everything I'm talking about, every that I'm touching today revolves around everything, son. It revolves around everything. This is why I decided, you know what, let me talk. Basically, everything I talk about revolves around everything. But this shit right here, relationships, no matter who it's with, it revolves around everything. And if it's not a a relationship with family, and if it's something where a female, for us males here, because most all we have are males here, so we know what the deal is. See, like Ross Clyde here says, last time I argued with my wife, I ended up looking like Wilder in a busted eardrum. You see, these guys have a perfect marriage. They have a perfect marriage. She don't take no shit from him. He don't take no shit from her. They take care of the kids. They take care of each other. I'm more than sure they sit down and we talk. See, that's a real woman he got. You see that? See, that's hard to build though. They don't make them like that anymore. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm talking about both people, Roskla and Israel. They don't make them like that anymore. Women need to take pages off of real serious women like this who have been with them and who have been loyal, who have given them families, who have laid down their life. They need to take notes and understand that when you're in a relationship, it's not you who makes yourself happy. It is both of you. When you're in a relationship, you're supposed to sit down and patch shit out, not just walk away and you know what I'm saying, and just over talk and you know what I mean, and try to look for something within it. A lot of people just don't have their standards right, and that's possibly the reason why, Mala, that there aren't loyal people, there aren't genuine people anymore, because they don't understand that they have to understand themselves as a person. Then they have to understand the other person and see if that person can actually match with their person in order to go somewhere. People don't do that. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to, I'm going on a date and you know what I mean? I remember when I went on dates, kid, I used to save my allowance and I used to, you know what I mean? And I had allowance all the way to like 12 years old, son. And I started dating at fucking 12. You know what I mean? Nothing serious, no sex, but just, hold the hand to hand, little kissy here or there. The whole point was, even at that age, I always made sure I got to see what this girl's about. I like her. I like her personality. I would fuck around and see exactly how she would go to treat others. That's what made me that, because when we're children, we're honest, right? And we know what we're doing. And there aren't hardly any things in our way because we're observing. So when we observe, maybe we got to take a page of our past selves and bring this into the forefront of our adulthood and say to ourselves, you know what? Maybe I need to be a little bit more honest with myself now and start fucking observing people instead of just letting them in. Because a lot of people just let people in. Am I wrong, Red? Oh, I guess Red is a.
No, you're right.
Mm,
No, you're right. There's people who do that. I know somebody who did that, and they paid dearly because there's multiple reasons why you don't just let just anybody in. You gotta that's why I say you gotta do it the old fashioned way. You gotta get to know each other, because I know somebody that they had a 8-month-old baby, and they left them alone with their boyfriend, and they threw him against the wall. You know, that's that's you know even if you don't have kids, you shouldn't just let just anybody in your life like that. But especially if you have kids, you gotta be extra careful, because you gotta not only protect yourself, but you gotta protect them as well. But I mean,
exactly.
that's just one example. But yeah, you got to be cautious of everybody that you meet at first. You don't just be giving out your address or anything like that. Look at what happened to what was that guy's name? Young Smoke or Pop Smoke, I think was his name.
Yeah,
He put out his address and he got murdered the next day. So, that's just being stupid.
yeah.
And I hate to say that because that man is no longer with us, and I don't like talking ill of the dead, but you got to learn from other people's mistakes, because if
Thank.
you just go and let just anybody into your life, like full reign of your life, right off the bat, they could end your life.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But I want to touch on something you just said because I think it was brilliant and it's a great talking point to start off where I'm getting off at now, where you were saying, uh, people have to really, take a look at, who they let in, and at the same time, Khalil said that it's a fundamental to know who you're dealing with. All of that though We don't learn by ourselves. It all starts off where? At home. So now let's talk about parents of today. Let's talk about exactly what children are today. Let's talk about exactly where these children are led today because there aren't any parents in the picture. Let's talk about how many fathers are not in the pictures because mothers decide, okay, and I'm not, and I'm gonna say this before I even get into this. I know there's some fathers out there that are stupid ass motherfuckers who just walked away and don't want to pay child support, don't want to do this, or don't want to do that because that's their nature and they just fucking bums. I'm not talking about them. Talking about the fathers that actually want to be there, but the mothers break up with kids and stuff like that. When you do that, there's no, you cannot raise a kid if you started a family and you got this kid. This is why divorce is terrible, bro. You got a kid thinking this is what it's about, this is how it's done. You got him watching shows that it's but like my family. Then all of a sudden, because either the wife gets tired or the father decides to just leave home, the kid is damaged now. Now that kid walks around like a fucking Terminator. Like this motherfucker walks around with no emotion. Just if it's a male, he's just going around fucking bitches. Then he's doing exactly what the parents did to his kid now. Same thing goes for if a dude hit a woman in front of their kid. Now the male grows up doing the same shit the father did. If the mother was a whore, brought men to the house, the girl's gonna grow up doing the same fucking thing, thinking that it's okay to go fucking around with multiple fucking men now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women who are strippers, who are porn stars, who are fucking hookers, a lot of them were touched at an early age, were abused because they didn't have the supervision from the home. So this is what they've become. A lot of females out here are fucking damaged, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of females here are fucking damaged. And it starts off at the home. We all we do is observe. We don't know what right and wrong is at an early age unless our parents teach us right from wrong. And that is fact. We do not know right from wrong. We know what pain is. We know what don't touch that is because there's many times we either touched a socket when we were little, just gaining consciousness and shit. Like, you know what I mean? We touched a socket, got shot. Oh shit. We already know not to do that. But when it comes to the human nature of a person, that's how, if we knew this, there wouldn't be no molestation. There wouldn't be, because then children would already have the instinct of this person's trying to harm me. No, you have to teach your child. And this is what I'm saying. There's not a lot of shit going on in the homes where parents are being parents. There's only some. It's not all. Back then, there were a lot. And this has to do with just people just not caring, bro. Not caring, just having kids irresponsible. Irresponsibly. You love them as a child. You love them as a toddler. They're cute. Oh, my little princess. Oh, my little prince. You dress them up and shit. But the moment they start going to school, the moment they're able to fucking fix themselves a bowl of cereal, son, these fucking bitches just forget about these kids. And they're out here fucking wreaking havoc. The fucking cities don't, the cities and the governments and shit and the states, they don't help. They've taken away all the programs that we used to have, after school programs, everything. These kids have nothing today. This is why parenting and the household should be much stronger than it was back then, but it's not. It's weaker. It's weaker. It's weaker. Mala says so many kids and babies are killed by stepfathers because they don't want the kids around. They just want the woman. And that's another thing too. That's another thing. So it's another thing. You know, that dude that probably did that to that baby is the type of dude that's a selfish motherfucker, and he probably was in his gene, or he probably just was raised without a father. He was raised with no combined parenting, and he went out there and his probably whoever he raised him was on some shit where they didn't pay attention to him, so he brought up his own self, and this is what added up to that. He thought this shit was right in his regimen, in his fucking system. He thought that if a baby gets you on your fucking nerves and you don't know how to quiet it down, slam it against the wall. Fuck it. Dickhead. Dickhead. Straight dick. That's because there was no motherfucking upbringing. We were brought up by our parents. I guarantee you that. And even if you were brought up by a single mom or a single pop, It's the upbringing. It's the observation that the parent made with the child to make sure that that child walked a what? A straight line. A straight
Yeah.
line. You know what I mean? A straight line. A lot of us were raised by our grandparents. A lot of motherfuckers I know were raised by their grandparents. Nothing wrong with that. Because if anything, grandparents are even more strict. So if a nigga who was raised by his grandparents grew up probably with a fucking profession, with education if they don't have a profession, but the whole thing is that they didn't fail as a child. You know what I'm saying? You see, Mala says, you see a lot of girls who don't have a father and end up pregnant as teenagers. Yep. They do it to make up for not having a father. Yeah. They look for that fatherly love. They think that running into the arms of every dude who treats them right or makes them feel important, even though we know that these motherfuckers are just saying this and treating like this to run games to get in the pussy, these girls are gullible. They're feeble minded, easy prey. And this is what happens. You want to touch on that, Red? Red seems to be busy at the moment. Anybody else want to come on? The link is in the chat. I'll put it back up there. Anybody want to get on this mic and we can speak, man? You know what I mean? We're all
My
quarantined.
bad.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it, bro.
I am.
Yeah, don't
But
sweat it. I
yeah,
mean,
you.
yeah,
I did hear what you were saying though, and you're right. You know, that's someone who would do that to a child. That's somebody who is, they had a, they didn't have a good upbringing. You know,
yep,
somebody who was brought up right, they would never do nothing like that.
exactly. And it's like you got a lot of these moms that are from the hood or whatever, and they like talking about communities and stuff like that. But meanwhile, their kid is locked up in fucking county jail or prison systems, and I don't understand how most of these women could have the face to do this and to say this and be all acting upon shit like that, but you didn't raise your kid right. Your kid went around and either killed somebody or robbed somebody, or you know what I mean. Now the fathers that aren't in the picture, they either fucking locked up or they're dead. And we're talking about you know we're talking minority statistics here. We're talking about the poor motherfuckers here. We're talking about minority. And it's not only black, it's not only Hispanic. We're talking Chinese as well. Yes, there are Jewish minority as well. There are Caucasian minority as well. Okay, America is not as rich as they say it is. The only reason why it's that rich or it's in the rich and the eyes of people is simply because we're able to do what the fuck we want. That's all it is. A lot of people want to leave their countries because they can come here and do whatever the fuck they want. On top of that, there's fucking money. On top of that, there's the main word, opportunity. But all that's being taken away. But before we even go over the opportunity and other motherfuckers, a lot of these people from other countries will not be able to survive the shit that we have here in America. People think that third world countries and the way you see their poverty and stuff like that. Listen, we live in the same way. Take a good look at us. We are living in the same way. We're living the same way. How do you figure? We have houses. How do you figure? You just finished saying that it was free, that people wanted to leave their country to come here. Exactly. The difference is you got countries, right, that are fucked up. America's fucked up too. We have right now the highest homeless count ever, son. How people are not gonna say we're not half of our country's not in the third world just because it's in LA doesn't mean shit. Remember, those are just buildings. But those are just you could just call those ornaments and shit. You could just call those background props. You could just call that. Look around it. Look around the people that make it because buildings just stand there. Buildings don't function unless people are in there. So just look at the people now. We are already a third world fucking country. The only thing is we're a third world country with freedoms. You could disagree with me if you want. Oh, I'm living good. I'm able to buy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the poverty, son. I'm talking about the crime, the rapes, And then you got the government that's trying to push that shit on you, trying to make it seem like it's okay. But and then they use the word but, so it's a double standard because they lost an election. Now the world's in shit, bro. Now they've got us all in this bullshit hysteria. Motherfuckers are quarantined. Niggas are at home. Most motherfuckers are contemplating suicide. Most niggas are just to a point that they're not used to being around their fucking family so much because they just used to working or doing whatever the fuck they doing during the day. That these niggas are fucking going crazy and they fucking fighting with each other. You know what I mean? If you go to third world countries, if that's what you want to call it, just like Mala said, you've got that 10% there too. You've got your rich there, you've got your minority, and you got the fucking poor. And all they do here is this propaganda is show us the poor. You know, they show us the children with the flies in their face. In the arms of an angel. And then you got the little kid, please feed Pablo for 5 cents a day. And you know what I mean? Fucking up your day. Fucking up your day. The thing over there is they tell you, you work and you make this and that's that. But then how the fuck do we know? Because I know people from third world countries that have the same parties, have the same good times in their country as they would here. My whole point here, guys, is we're being lied to. I have that list on, and they were telling me, corner, don't. This is why I talk because I'm saying, any input on?
Hey Jay, are you able to hear me?
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. No, I'm
Yeah,
asking because I don't know if it's me or if it's you, but you're starting to break up.
yeah, probably. It's probably me. Yeah, can you
Oh,
hear me
you
now?
sound. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Your video's coming through a little choppy, but I'm able to hear you better than I can see you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I got a quick question to ask.
yeah.
Are you familiar with Patrice O'Neal?
Oh yeah, that's my man right there, boy.
Because a lot of the stuff you talking about is like stuff that he is taught. Like I'm not saying you're biting off of him. I'm just saying like he mentioned like the commercials. I don't know if you ever seen Elephant in the Room, but he's talking about the with the animals and with the arms of the angel and then also he has a lot of point of views that are similar with the relationship, you know. But like I said, I'm not saying you're copying off of him because you definitely are talking about your own shit. It's just I'm hearing some of the kind of stuff he talks about or used to talk about because he passed away.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so now
I
we're
see
back.
two of you.
I got rid of one. I had a twin.
Yeah,
You didn't know that? I had a one. His name is Jiff. I'm Jeff. He's Jiff.
you're Jeff. He's Jeff.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Had some technical difficulties. I had to bring this back now. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, Patrice O'Neal. Guys that talk on shit. I always listen to Tommy Sotomayor. That's my dude too. You've also got fucking damn man, shit. I just had his name. He was Patrice O'Neal's friend too, man.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. You know what I mean? You got Bill Burr, man. You know, I mean, you got a lot of guys who talk about that, and they bring the forefront. They bring it to the forefront. They just don't, they don't get deep into it because, of course, it's all an act. There's an act, and they got to do shit and stuff like that. Sometimes they get real. Like Patrice, he was real with it.
I think you're breaking up again because you froze and now I can't hear you. But what was I gonna say? Oh, but Patrice O'Neal, like I think that's why he never got big, to be honest, because he kept it real. He was actually in the running to be the father on Everyone Hates Chris, and they ended up going with Terry Crews. And Bill Burr, he he has his podcast where he could talk about whatever he wants because it's his podcast. And he's just now starting to get a little bit more notoriety.
Right.
He was in The Mandalorian, actually.
Who?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah, yeah. He did pretty good. He was one of those. He was one of the one of the scavengers and shit.
Yeah. So but he's still not like, he'll never be, because of the stuff that he talks about and everything. I don't think he'll ever be as big as like Kevin Hart, or anybody like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he'll ever be that big. Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties. I hope we're back. You know what I mean? It looks like we are. I'm checking everything. Everything seems normal. Okay. Yeah, it's doing that, man. Let me find out internet as fucking COVID-19.
It might. It's a virus.
That'd be some crazy. Man. God damn it. Yeah, this shit is coming. It's going in and out, man. I'm gonna drop the stream right now, and I'm gonna try to come back in a little bit, guys. I'm sorry, man. Those technical difficulties suck like a
Oh,
motherfucker.
it's all good.
All
Like,
right, man.
I've been in streams, and you ain't the first one to happen to, and you won't be the last. So definitely
Yeah, man.
understand. But thanks for having me, Jay.
You got it, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you always, my brother. No doubt, man. You're the man.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
brother.
you too.
You got it, man. Everybody else, thank you for joining. And remember what I said, man. I'm gonna try to finish this shit up later. Something going on with the stream, man. But God bless. Stay vigilant, everybody. Thank you for joining. Mala, everybody, man. Thank you, guys.